All right, guys, it's your boy Taco Phil. Uh, I've been making as much videos as much lately, but I've been trying to keep the information relevant. Uh, Mostly been responding to your guys' comments, and I've had a good number of comments that I figured I'd answer in a video. It's pretty interesting. So we had one gentleman who was talking about he had his class A and he wanted to know what he would have to really do in order to drive a bus. So, in order to go from any other commercial driver's license, like let's say you drove trucks and you were interested in driving buses, for some reason I don't know why you would, because honestly you're gonna make more as a truck driver than you are as a bus driver. But whatever floats your boat. Maybe you're looking to just be part of that kind of lifestyle. I don't know. So if you have a Class A, you're going to need to get your passenger endorsement. You should have air brakes already, but if you don't, you're gonna have to get air brakes. Um, and that's it, really. When you go to the DMV, you're gonna take you have to take and pass the passenger endorsement. And like I said, if you don't have air brakes, you gotta have the air brakes. Then you're gonna have to take the skills test in the vehicle that or in the class of vehicle that you want to be driving. So if it's a bus, if it's going to be driving a bus, you're going to have to take the test in a bus. Now, if you work for a company like Greyhound or most city buses, they'll provide a bus for you in order to take the skills test in. Uh, it's not. It's. I don't think it's personally that difficult, but you got to pay attention. You got to watch your mirrors. It's not obviously the regular buses don't maneuver like a combination truck. So you just got to watch that. Um, so that's the answer for that one. The the next one that you guys keep asking me about for some reason is about the listening to music. I don't know why so many people are concerned about this. Company policy says that because pretty much every company that operates a bus says you can't have any sort of electronics in your hand, in your ear, distracting you while you are driving a bus. Plain and simple. It's not a truck. You got passengers. They're more concerned about you being distracted and, pretty much risking people's lives. So every bus company I've seen, you cannot listen to music on that bus. Now, does it happen? Yeah. People listen to music all the time at pretty much every company I've seen. Whether it is they have wireless earbuds, whether it is they just run regular earphones and they run it up the side. Typically the buses will have like the drive cam up here on the right, so people will run their earphones to the back. So it's definitely a thing. All I can tell you is be cautious. If you get caught, most companies that's termination. You know, um, some companies are a little lenient. They'll if you're listening to music, they'll give you a warning, maybe a suspension. Definitely, if you have the phone in your hand, for most companies that's termination for when you're driving a bus. But if you're listening to music, that's a different thing. Um, I know at some of the companies I've seen and talked to friends and people and what I've witnessed, some people are, most people they will just do like a single earbud in the opposite ear of the drive cam. But some companies, people will just be as brazen and they'll just put their phone on speaker and listen to music, for everybody to hear. Obviously, they'll try to play something that's, a little appropriate for everybody. It's up to you. Just be aware that most companies will not allow it. And obviously, for Greyhound and companies like that, they will not allow you to listen to music, while driving. It's no electronics, it's all a distraction. Now, there was an interesting one where someone said that I was an actor paid by Greyhound because I never talk about things like traffic. Now, traffic is pretty much going to be a factor no matter which commercial company you drive for. You're going to drive through traffic, plain and simple. You know, I didn't think to talk about it because, you know, you're going to have traffic no matter where you go. You will pass through cities and you will get traffic. Now, the cool thing about working for an interstate company like Greyhound or Megabus or any of those others is you spend the majority of your time on interstates between the cities. So, for example, let's say I'm in Los Angeles, and you know, first of all, when you're working on call or you're working on the extra board or whatever for most companies, you're going to be doing the majority of your driving at night because that's when most people book off and they need drivers to come in. You're going to be working the majority of your time at night, and because of that time, you know, you're probably not going to have as much traffic. You will still encounter traffic. Now, coming out of LA, I'll encounter traffic, but honestly, I would say out of the 8 hour trip, the most I might spend in traffic would probably be an hour. You know, not only am I working at nights the majority of the time, and majority of the time I'm avoiding peak traffic times, I'm also the route guides that they'll give you will spend the majority of the time rerouting you around traffic. You know, there are plenty of route guides that I've come across in which they purposely have me going damn near around the entire city and then coming in a different route in order to avoid peak traffic. For example, there is if I'm coming from San Francisco into LA, it'll sometimes, you know, if the traffic is really light, it'll recommend taking the 101. The 101 is the most direct route coming from north straight into downtown LA, where I've had plenty of times in which it was like, hey, at this time, don't go through the 101. The 101 is completely ridiculously congested. And it'll have you reroute through the 5, which pretty much takes you around downtown and then through, you know, the middle of downtown or the southern of downtown, and then you just go slightly north back into downtown. So you'll learn the routes. It's not that big a deal, you know. Same thing in San Francisco. You know, I'll come up and it'll have me taking the 5 connecting to the 580, and typically the 580, if I decide to take the southern route through, which I believe is it the 80? I think it's the 80. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it is. But it takes you through the south part of Oakland going up into San Francisco. But if you take that route, you're going to be stuck in a lot of traffic. So typically it'll have you stay on the 580 and take it all the way up to the 8, which takes you way pretty much around Oakland and gets you right into the top there of Oakland, and then you can hit straight up to San Francisco. And, you know, it just saves you a lot of time. So you'll learn the routes, you'll know how to avoid traffic, and it won't become that big of a factor. Obviously, you're still going to have times in which you're going to be sitting in traffic, you know, but that's the easy part of your day. You know, you're pretty much just cruising. You know, it may take you longer to get to that route, but you get paid for that time. You know, it's not like, oh, from here to San Francisco you get paid the same, and whether you're sitting in traffic or not. No, they calculate it takes longer, you get paid more. So that's what you're going to deal with if you're dealing with traffic on any sort of interstate busing company or even city busing company. You know, there are plenty of local bus companies that basically they know that you're going to be sitting in traffic and they'll pay you accordingly. Or you're doing less runs if you're dealing with you know, a lot of city traffic, you know. So they'll try to get you to get your hours. You know, they're never going to put you in crazy traffic where they know you're going to be, you know, spending, you know, 15, 16 hours when you can only drive a maximum of 10 hours, you know. And if you do go over those 10 hours, you're allowed, I believe, an additional 2 hours, and you get paid, you know, typically, you know, like time and a half for those extra 2 hours or something like that. You get a bonus pay for those extra hours that you spend in traffic. So, you know, those are the questions that just recently came up. I thought I'd answer. You know, keep sending questions. I'll try to answer them the best as I can with as much knowledge as I can. And, you know, I'll hopefully see you guys out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. It's Taco Phil. Keep subscribing. Keep sending questions. I appreciate it all.